نعم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا مصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نعم. So inshallah ta'ala, we are going to continue with the FIQ session. So in the last, I think in the last session, I think that last 2 weeks, we were discussing about al-wudu, ablution. So I think we moved from discussing about the adabu tahara to this al-wudu. So inshallah ta'ala, we are going to continue from there. Sorry, we are going to continue from there now. So in the last session, we were telling us that
Now,
al-wudu, that is ablution that we all know. Wa alaikum salam.
please, I just want to ask the FQ text. Can you please share on the WhatsApp group as well, so we can also follow? Maybe after the class.
Okay, so we are actually using two texts. We are using two materials. One is the text, the pure Arabic text, and this one is like the extract. So though this one is not yet like fully prepared or fully available, but do you mean the text that we used last week?
Anyone, so that we can also follow as well. So it would be easy to follow
Okay,
with you.
inshallah, that after the class. Okay, so after the class, inshallah.
Nam, jazakallah khair.
So wahiyakum, I mean wahiyakum. So in the last class we discussed about wudu. We started with wudu. So we made us know that wudu, and just like other acts of worships, they have it has parts, that is, it has like classification, the action. So there is the complete action. I'm trying to like put it in a way we are going to understand it clearly. There is a complete one that when you do it you get almost all the reward, and there are also some things that there are some actions that there are some part of the action that once you do it, the obligation of that action have already gone away from your head, that it is no more obligatory on you, though you may not get the reward as complete as the person that did the whole part of that action. So that is why when dealing with actions in FIQ, they will split it into, they will say these are the shurut, these are the obligatory aspects, these are the recommended aspects, and this. So in wudu, when we are discussing about wudu, we have four aspects. So in the last session, we discussed about how to do wudu completely without splitting it into this one is obligatory, this one is recommended, this one is this. We just discussed it completely. So now, for knowledge sake, and also for there are sometimes we will need to know all this. So like probably when there is when there is no much water, or when you see someone do something and you think, this person, did he do wudu? Is this wudu correct or is not correct? So there are some things you need to know. That is one of the importance of knowledge. So we have known the complete aspect of wudu, and that is the one that is encouraged. Like that is how we are supposed to be doing our wudu. If nothing is, if there is no any situation that come. So now we want to move into the classification of this al wudu. So in this classification, there are four. When we are discussing about wudu, we are going to be discussing about four classifications. So the first one is shurut, that is the conditions. So other acts of worship to us have this kind of classification. So when we are talking about shurut now in wudu, and anytime we be talking about shurut, shurut are actions that must be done, that are required to be done before that main action can get done. So all these shurut, if any of it is missing, doing that main action is just like you are wasting your time. All these shurut, they are called conditions. So they must be complete before you can say, oh, you want to start the actions. So actions, things that must be complete, things that must be available, things that are required before you start the action itself. They are what we refer to as shurut, conditions. So, but whenever when you are now into the action, when you have started it, things that must be done, things that must be done after you have started the actions, that one can be either ruknu, you can call it arkan, but sometimes we don't see arkan. We talk about wujub, we talk about wajib. Sorry. the obligatory part. So arkan means pillar, wajib means obligation. So but wajib and arkan, sometimes in some actions you just talk about wajib only, there won't be arkan, but sometimes in some actions they are going to be the two. So the implication of these terms, these terminologies, we are going to understand it as we move on. But when we are dealing with wudu, we are only going to talk about the wajib. There is no arkan. We are not going to talk about arkan under wudu. So we are only going to talk about the wajib. So what are the wajibat? What are these obligatory things? They are actions that once you have started the wudu, you must do it. If you don't do it, you not do wudu. If you miss any of it, you not do wudu. Those are the what? The wajibat, the obligatory actions. So then thirdly are the are the ones that we call mustahabat, or we say mustahab for just singular. So they are the ones that we call the recommended actions. These ones are just, let's call it complementary. That is, if you don't do it, it doesn't affect the correctness of wudu. But doing it would add extra reward to your wudu. Not doing it does not have spoiled the wudu, but doing it adds extra reward to the wudu. So what are those are the mustahabat. So now fourthly we now have the an-nawaqid. This one are the nullifiers, that if any of it happens, the wudu is spoiled. If any of this happens, the wudu gets what? Spoiled. You have to do it again. So, and everything that wudu necessitate gets spoiled too. So anything that spoils wudu will also spoil anything that wudu is a condition for. So for instance, if you are praying, when your wudu gets spoiled, the prayer gets spoiled automatically. So this, we are going to understand this very well when we start getting into the actions. So now let's start from the first one, the shurut, the conditions. So the conditions that must be complete before you can before you can say you want to start, before you can say you want to do ablution. The conditions that must be complete. So as you can see in the screen, the first is al-Islam. That is, you must be a Muslim. So whoever is not a Muslim that does wudu is automatically not correct. He just wasted water. So firstly, you must be a Muslim before your wudu can be what? Can be correct. The first condition is that what? You must be a Muslim. So remember when I was explaining, I said these are actions that must be present, but they are not part of the wudu itself. But they are actions that must be present before you can start the wudu. So you can see now Islam is not part of the wudu itself, but it must be present before you can start the wudu. So firstly, al-Islam, you must be a Muslim. Secondly, al-Akulu, you must not have any mental, like you must not have major mental problem, like you must not be mad. For instance, you must not be mad. You must be someone that is sane, sanity. Al-Akulu, so you must be someone that is sane. You must not be a mad person. Cannot do wudu. If you mistakenly does wudu, the wudu is not correct. So thirdly is at-tamyiz. At-tamyiz is that you must have gotten to the age. The age of tamyiz is 7, or there are also other criteria that we can use to know tamyiz. But one of it is that once you have gotten to 7 years, or for a female that started a monthly flow, or like that. So that is tamyiz. You must have gotten to a stage that we refer to as buluk. You have gotten to a stage that you are now how should I call it? You are now a mukallaf. You are now someone that, oh, this thing is starting to get obligatory on you. So that is tamyiz. So for thirdly, aniyah, you must intention. So you must, just as we know in the popular hadith that innamal a'malu binniyat. So aniyah is a condition for all act of worship, not only wudu. So if you don't do if you don't make intention in the beginning of your wudu, the wudu is not correct. So the next one is inqidah will haid wan nifas. So for female that are having monthly flow, or that are having their birth flow, so it must stop before they can do wudu. If they do wudu in that period, the wudu is not correct. Also, al-istinjahu wal istijmar qabla al-wudu. So for someone that had, like just as we explained earlier in the last class, so for someone that went to ease himself, or through any of the two ways, So after easing himself, we made us know that what is compulsory on him is to do what istinja or istijmar. He should do istinja if there is water, and if there's no water, he should do istijmar. So doing this is also one of the conditions for wudu. For instance, that is when someone goes to ease himself or herself and did not do any of these two, that person now came out and do wudu. The wudu is not what is not correct. So that is one of the implications of this. So that's why they say it is one of the shurut for wudu. You must be in a clean state from istinja or istinja. You must have done istinja if you have done something that necessitates it. So another and second to the last is dukhulu liwaqt liman bihi hadathun dahi. So there are some people that have how will I say, they have like some health conditions that the kind of health condition that they are in a state that they can't stop the either probably urine or feces or whatever. They can't stop it from coming. Like they are in a critical condition that it is coming in its own will. It is not that it is not coming from their own will. So that kind of person, how will he pray? How will he do wudu? So his own condition for doing wudu is that the time for prayer must have arrived. For we others that don't have any health condition, you can do wudu anytime and continue using it as long as it doesn't spoil. So, but for him, he must wait for the time of prayer to come in. Why must he wait for the time for prayer to come in? Because after doing wudu, when the time of prayer come for that kind of person that has that health condition, all other things that will be coming out from his body won't nullify that wudu. He can use it to pray. So that was like his own rukhsah, his own the taysir given to him, that is the ease given to him. So someone that can't control the release of his urine or his feces. So that kind of person, his own wudu is that whenever the time for prayer has come, he's going to do wudu. So after doing that wudu, anything that comes out of his body doesn't spoil the wudu, like how it will spoil it for someone that doesn't have any health condition. So he's going to use that ablution to then pray. So after praying, then that ablution has gone. So if another time for Zuhr again, he's going to want to do the same thing, pray Zuhr, that ablution has gone. So when in the time between him doing ablution and praying, no matter what comes out from his body, we won't count it as what that it spoiled the ablution. So that is his own rukhsah. Like someone that has this condition, he must also pray. So that's his own format of doing ablution. So what they are saying here now is that the time for prayer must come in. So that kind of person cannot do ablution before the time of prayer come in. Then say he wants to use that ablution to still pray. No, the time of prayer must come in. So after the time of prayer has come in, he will do ablution. So after doing the ablution, whatever spoils or anything that comes out of his body, we will not count it as a nullifier for his wudu. His wudu, he will use that ablution to pray. After praying, then the ablution has spoiled automatically. So then he will do another ablution for another prayer. That is for the person that has health condition. So and the last one, there was no chance to put it here, is that izala to ma yamna ul ghusl ila al bashar. So the meaning is that you izala remove anything that ma yamna usul lima, ma yamna usul al. Whatever is going to prevent water from getting into your al-bashar or your skin, you have to remove it. For instance, you wear long sleeve, I want to do wudu, you have to make sure you draw your long sleeve up very well so that water is going to cover everything is supposed to cover. So for instance, you wear a long knicker, a long trouser, you must draw it up so that you're able to wash your leg very well. So that's one of the conditions for wudu. So and that's the last one in the conditions in the shuru to wudu. So that is the last one. So now we are going to move into the furud, the obligations. It is the same thing as wajibat. So farudu and wajib are somehow the same thing, though there is explanation, but for now you can take it as they are somehow the same. They are somehow the same thing. So the wajibat, the things that are obligatory for someone that is doing wudu. So the first one is ghusl liwaji, washing the face. So remember in the last session, we told us about how to do wudu completely without segregating between the wajibat, between the mustahabat, between this and that. No. So we did it. That is like the recommended way to do wudu. But for knowledge sake, you need to know, oh, which one are obligatory, which one are not obligatory, which one. So the obligatory part of wudu, the first one is ghusl al-wajh, washing the face. So no, when we put ghusl al-wajh as the first one, you know automatically that what washing the hand before you start wudu is not the obligated, it's not one of the obligated part of wudu. So washing the hand, you know, when you want to start wudu, you are going to wash your hand 3 times. The scholars have made us know that the only time that washing the hand is going to become an obligation is when you just wake up from sleep. Just as it is in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever just wake up from sleep should wash his hand 3 times. قبل أن يدخلهما في الإناء ثلاثة لأن لا يدري أين ما باتت يده, because the one that has slept has not know when he did not know where his hand has entered. So, and during that time when they want to do wudu, it is the hand they are going to be using to remove the water and do the wudu. It's not as if there's like a tap or so. So that means they have to first wash that hand 3 times. Before they put it inside the bowl that they are going to be drawing, they are going to be using their hand to bring water from 3 times. So that is the only one that is what obligatory when you just wake up from sleep. But doing wudu like for Zuhr or Asri, or that is not that you just wake up from sleep. Washing the hand is recommended, not obligatory. So I've mentioned the difference between when we say something is wajib and we say something is mustahab. When we say something is wajib, the meaning is that it is obligatory. If you don't do it, that action is what nullified. But when you say something is mustahab, not doing it, the action is not nullified. But doing it is going to what increase the reward of that action. So firstly, so just to know, now back to what you are saying, the first obligated part of wudu, obligated action in wudu is to what? Wash the face. So and this face, when we say wash the face, what we mean by wash the face is that including the mouth and the nose. So we are talking and then the face itself. So when we say wash the face, we are including the mouth, the nose, and the face itself. So that's one of the obligatory parts of wudu: the mouth, the nose, and the face. Secondly, ghusl al-yadaini ma'al mirfaqaini. Then after washing the mouth, the nose, and the face, the washing of hand that is obligatory in wudu is now this one. Ghusl al-wajhi ma'al mirfaqaini. Then you now wash your hand from your hand, that is from your palm till your elbow. So this is where many people make mistake. Many people don't wash from the hand; they wash from the wrist, and this is very, very wrong. Something that since they avoid the hand in the beginning, the one and they don't know that the one that they wash in the beginning is not the obligated one. It's not the one that is obligatory. The one that is obligatory is this one that is after washing the face, which is washing from the palm of the hand, from the palm of the hand, not from the wrist, from the palm of the hand till the ma'al mirfaqain, till the elbow. That is the obligatory one that if you don't do it, your ablution is nullified. And that is, and many people don't start from the hand. So washing from the hand, from the palm till the elbow, that is the obligatory part of wudu. The one that is after the face, not the one that we do in the beginning. The one we do in the beginning is a recommended action. It's not an obligatory one, except when you just wake up. So this is one of the key things we need to pay attention to. So washing the hand up till the elbow. Then the next one is mashu jami'i ras. After washing the hand up to the elbow, then wiping your hair. Remember when I was telling us about the wiping of the hair, I told us that we're going to wipe it and somewhere just as in the artist. Then you return the hand back to the front. You wipe it from the front to the back, then back to the front. So the one that is obligatory is wiping from the front till the back. So the wiping from the back to the front, when we are talking about wudu, it is not obligatory, it is recommended. But wiping from the front to the back, that is the obligatory part of wudu. So wiping the head is one of the obligatory part of wudu. Then after wiping the head, okay, part of the head is also the ear. So part of the head is also what? The ear. And I told us in the last class how we wash the ear. So we are going to put one finger inside the ear and the other finger outside of it to wash the ear. So next one is ghuslu. I think there is a mistake in the typing of this. So it's ghuslu rijlayni ma'al ka'bayni. So then you wash after your ear, your head and your here, then you move to the leg. So you wash your leg, put your hand into every of the toe, in the middle of every of the toe, and up to the ankle. So you wash your leg up to the ankle. So that's the obligatory part of al wudu. So then one of the obligatory thing we need to also pay attention to when we are doing our wudu is what at tertib, order. So order is a obligatory part of wudu. Order, that is all these things that we have said that we are doing in wudu, we are going to do it following each other and the way we have arranged it. Not that you start from the leg, then you go back to the hand, then you go back to the no. Doing the wudu, you have to follow the order that is the way it is legislated from the hand in the beginning. Usually that one is sunnah, just as I've said. Then what? The mouth, the nose, the face, the hand to the elbow, the head, the ear, and then the leg. So you must not do one before one, or the one that you're supposed to do in the beginning, you do it in the end. No. So it is, if you mix it up like that, the wudu is nullified. So, and also is al muwalat. This means that your wudu must, like, you must not wash your hand. Then probably somebody you see, you had probably a discussion that is interesting. Then you went to interfere in it. Then you come back and say, oh, where did I stop? I stopped at my head. Then you now continue from there. No. So once you pause for a little, your admission is nullified. You have to start from the beginning. That's the meaning of al-muwalat. Succession, you must do it after each other, no stop. So you must not wash your head, then probably water finish. So before water come back, like after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you have to start from the beginning. So or you are doing admission, something came up, then you have to like attend to it. Before you come back, 20, 30 minutes has gone, you have to start from the beginning. So you must do the ablution in succession. You must not pause you must not pause for a very long time in between the ablution. So those are the obligation, those are the wajibat, the obligatory aspect of wudu. Then now we are going to the mustahabat. So the ones that are recommended. So the numbers of recommended one is very, very many. So we just picked some. So recommended thing to do during ablution is they are very, very many. So we just picked some. So some of what we picked is asiwak qabla al-wudu. So using asiwak before you do wudu. So this is one of the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it is not obligatory. It's one of the recommended actions before you perform ablution. Then also Qawlu Bismillah. So saying Bismillah before wudu is one of the recommended actions. It is not one of the obligatory. Remember, saying something is one of the recommended actions doesn't mean we should leave it and not do it. So we are just making us to know for knowledge sake, not that we should now leave all the recommended action and focus on the obligatory actions. No, so we have to do everything. That is what is best. But just for us to know, for probably in an instance of, oh, you forgot this. So when you now remember that, oh, I forgot to do this, that thing that you're not forgetting to do, you now check that, oh, is it a recommended action or an obligatory action? If it is a recommended one, you know that, oh, nothing is wrong with my wudu. Or if it is an obligatory one, you know, oh, I have to go and I have to redo the wudu. So those are just the reason to know the difference between the two. Not that you should now focus on only the obligatory part of wudu. So as siwak qabla al-wudu, using siwak, Bismillah, saying Bismillah in the beginning of wudu, because at least doing the wudu thrice. So if you do all parts of the wudu, if you do it only once, your wudu is still correct. But if you do it twice, it is still correct. If you now do it thrice, it is also still correct. But doing more than thrice is it is disliked. So doing more than thrice is disliked, except when necessity calls for it. Probably not wash one place very well also. But one is correct, two is better, three is best. So that is, but doing one probably because of shortage of water or whatever, it is correct. It is like it is acceptable. So at least goes to the kafaini thalasa. Just as I mentioned, I said the washing of the hand that we do in the beginning of the wudu, that one too is what it is recommended. It is not part of the obligatory aspect, except the one that Professor Allah said told us that when someone wake up from sleep, Professor Allah said in the hadith that he said you should what you should wash it 3 times before you dip your hand into the hina. So the hadith of the Prophet is on that when you wake up from a sleep, the kind of sleep that was mentioned in the hadith is Batat Yedahu. Batat that was used there, the scholars of Islam does know that it is the kind of sleep that we refer to as Bituta. So that one is the kind of sleep that you sleep in the night. In the night, those some scholars of Islam made us know that no, all kind of sleep. If you wake up from all kind of sleep, it is obligatory that you wash your hand 3 times before starting ablution. But some say no, it is only for night sleep. When you wake up in the morning, you have to wash your hands. But all in all, washing the hand is sunnah, is recommended. So I'm just trying to like let us know between the part of it that is obligatory and the part of it that is recommended. So now in continuation, Gospel Kafaini Thalasa, Adua Uban El Firok, when you are done with Wudu, it is recommended that you say some dua. So one of the askar you say after Wudu is Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, Allahumma ij'alna Allahumma ij'alni min at-tawwabin wa ij'alni min al-mutatahhirin. Allahumma ij'alni min at-tawwabin wa ij'alni min al-mutatahhirin. After saying the tashahhud, you add Allahumma ij'alni min at-tawwabin waj'alni min al-mutatahhirin. So, and also there are many others, there are many other sunnah of wudu. It's not only this, there are many other. So one of it is that you do your tamadumada and your istinshaq and your istinthar, you do it very well. One of it is that if you have beards, you wash the beards very well, and like that, like that. So that is for the most recommended part. So now we now move to the nullifiers, nawakidul wudu, the things that nullify your wudu, the things that spoil wudu and necessitate that you do another one. So firstly, oh sorry, this al-istijab bimahin is not supposed to be here. It is an error. So there are like errors in this. In some of the translations, there are errors in this slide. So I just prepared it fast so that we can see we can use this. I don't want us to use the Arabic text only. So now nawakid wudu. So nullifiers of ablution. Firstly, al-kharij min al-kubul wa dubur. Al-kharij min al-kubul wa dubur. So whatever comes out from our passage system, both the front and the back, anything that comes out, if anything should come out from it, your wudu gets nullified immediately. If anything should come out from the passage system, both the front and the back, your wudu gets nullified immediately. So al-kharij min al-kubul wa dubur. Secondly is zawalul akli binawmin aw ghayrihi. Zawalul akli binawmin aw ghayrihi. Someone should lose consciousness probably through sleep. Like you sleep for 2-3 hours, your ablution gets spoiled automatically. Or through faint, when someone faints he fainted for some minutes or for some hours, his ablution gets nullified immediately. Or any other thing that can make one lose consciousness. Probably he gets mad or he gets insane also. Anything that makes you lose your consciousness, your ablution gets nullified immediately. So secondly, thirdly, masu zakar bishahwa. So under this, okay, so touch for the man to touch his manhood with desire and bila hahil bila wasito yani, meaning that without any how will I say it, without any cover, without like it's not as if his hand is with clothes or he has clothes covered. So if someone should touch his manhood without any without how will I say it, without any intercession or without any middle, without any how will, how will I put it, without anything, like for instance, it's not as if he wear clothes, then he touch his man. No, like without, if you should touch it directly, okay, let me say that if you touch the manhood directly, bishawa. So this bishawa is the condition that some scholars put, some scholars do not put. Bishawa means with desire. Some say it is not with desire, even if you just touch it, its ablution has gotten spoiled. Some are even that, okay, don't let me go far. So let me just put it like that. So if someone should touch his manhood with desire, his ablution gets nullified. So one of the things that also nullify ablution is aklu lahmil hibil, eating camel meat. If someone eats camel meat, his ablution gets nullified. So another thing that nullify ablution also that is not written here, I think that was what I was supposed to put here. I forgot in this last box that al-istijaa is. What is supposed to be there is that feces and urine, if it should get if you come out from any other part of the body, even though it is not through the two passages, if you should come out from any other part of the body, ablution gets nullified immediately. So if you even, firstly, what we said is that anything that comes out through the two passages, so it's not only urine that comes out, not anything that comes out nullify ablution. So now urine and feces, if it should come out from any, probably through operation or whatever, if it should come out from any other part of the body, the ablution gets nullified also. So these are the major nullifiers of ablution. So we have talked about the shurut, we have talked about the furud, we have talked about the the mustahabat, we have talked about the nawaki. So these are the four key things when we are talking about ablution that we all need to know. So remember, the last class we discussed how to perform wudu, like in a format that we don't need to know which one is obligatory, which one is recommended. That is what we should stick to. So, but this one is just for us to have knowledge about, oh, these are the conditions that must be that must be on ground before you can do wudu. The obligations are to know that, oh, if I should miss any of this, the wudu gets spoiled. But the recommended one, if I should mistakenly forget any of it, nothing is wrong with my ablution. Then the nawakid, oh, these are things that spoil my wudu. So I think this is where we are going to pause for today, inshallah ta'ala. So in case there is any question, so in the next class, we are going to move into al-ghuslu. So remember we said in the beginning that just as the author of the book we are using, the Arabic text we are using, the way he split it, he said at-taharatu naw'an. Said tahara is of two types, the al-wudu, wal ghuslu, then he added at-tayammum. So now we are done with wudu, inshallah ta'ala. In the next session, we are going to move into al-ghuslu. So probably after that one, so we are probably are going to combine ghuslu and tayammum with this time. So but we are going to pause for now in case there is any question. So
Now,
before we call it, yeah,
now,
you can go on.
now,
Wa alaikum
okay.
salam wa
I want to ask on the siwak. Is it? I have two questions actually. Is it? Can you use toothbrush or you must use the wooden chewing stick? Also, the second question, I've heard someone say that, oh, when you injure yourself and you're bleeding, that you have to renew your wudu, like after you've cleaned up the place you're bleeding. Is that correct or the is not correct? Those are my questions.
Naam, jazakumullahu khairan. So regarding the siwak, yes, you can use toothbrush for cleaning your teeth in a normal day. So the use of siwak is sunnah. That is for a normal, like for probably you wake up in the morning and but use of siwak before ablution, can we now substitute it with the use of toothbrush? I would say no, no. So it is the use of siwak that is still going to be the use of siwak in that context, in that position. So can we substitute the use of siwak with the use of toothbrush before every ablution? No. So we are still, the siwak is still going to be the siwak. So, but can we use toothbrush? Yes, we can use toothbrush like for our normal cleaning. So that is for that aspect. So secondly, regarding the question, yes, the thing is there. Firstly, just as I said in the beginning, that fiqh is a very broad, a very wide field. So, and because at this stage we can't be like moving into, we are going to be trying our best, our very possible best, to avoid things that deal with difference of opinion, that this scholar said this scholar. So we have to, at this stage, we need to like try our best to avoid matters that have difference of opinion. Best thing is to just stick to the text we are using. So sticking to the text we are using doesn't mean that that scholar that wrote that text that we are using is 100% correct. Like even I that I'm explaining it, there will be many things in the book that I don't agree with in fiqh perspective, like in what I do, what I follow, in the Muslim I follow also. So, but we are just going to use that one for the explanation in this aspect. So we are going to try our best to avoid diving into difference of opinion. So regarding the question you asked, so where I'm going now is that yes, in regarding that there is difference of opinion on whether remove releasing many blood, releasing like a large amount of blood nullifying wudu. So yes, there are scholars that say like yes, that nullifies wudu, but the person that we are using his text didn't include that. So but yes, there are many scholars that says remove when blood comes out from the body, like a large amount of blood, it nullifies the wudu, and I think that's best. Like that's best to follow. So like when you are a large amount of blood gets out of the body, it is best to what redo the wudu. So, but why we did not mention it is because the text we are using, the right author did not also include it. Probably in his own opinion, it doesn't count it as something that nullifies wudu. So, but yes, what you said is right. It is better to count it as a nullifier of wudu. So that is for the second question.
Jazakumullah khair.
Well, yeah, so in case there is any other question before we round it up. Okay, so if there is no question, inshallah ta'ala, this is where we're going to pause for this week. So in the next 2 weeks, we are going to meet again, inshallah, and we are going to move into the uh, next thing on ground, which is al-ghuslu, ritual bath, just as people call it. So inshallah ta'ala, this is where we are going to end. If you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept everything we have said from us as an active ibadah, we ask him to continue to increase us in knowledge. We ask him to نسأل الله تعالى يفقهنا في الدين. نسأل الله تعالى يتقبل كل أعمالنا وكل اجتهادنا. وبهذا نكتفي وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.